Hi, I am Mark Dalton, and this is Amanda Patella, and we are from the design firm Chic on the Cheap. We are at Key Towers South on Lido Beach, and we are the interior designers that are going to rejuvenate this building into the grand dame that it should have been when it was first built in 1972. So what we're going to do first is we're going to explain to you how we're going to reinvigorate and redesign the spaces. We're going to start with the outside of the building first because every good design
begins with a good foundation.
And a good foundation is the outside, because the outside and the inside need to be cohesive. So we'll step outside and we'll explain what we're going to do out there, and then we'll step into the lobby and start and go through the spaces. At the end of all of this, we will introduce you to the material choices.
Okay, so here we are on the exterior of the building, and one of the things you're going to hear us talk about a lot throughout this presentation is the exterior bump outs. When we're talking about that, we are referring to right here behind me, basically the corner of the building where it bumps out from the rest of the building. So you're also going to hear us talking about the exterior bump out alcoves, and what we're referring to is on the other side here where we've got the see-through pavers. We're going to be taking those down, and you'll see later on when we're introducing both of the material schemes to you what materials we're going to be suggesting for inside those alcoves there. So as you know, the foundation of a good design starts on the exterior, and so what we'd like to see happen is, starting with these bump outs, we will be introducing the paint color, which is a very beautiful neutral palette for each of the schemes, and that will carry from this bump out to the one on the other side of the entry as well. And that would also include new pavers that are neutralized and carrying that material up to the front door and reworking the planters a little bit, and to just really set the stage for what you're about to see inside.
So one of the things that Amanda and I really love about this building is that there's some great curves. There aren't that many of them, but the ones that they are, we'd like to accentuate. So this curve right here, we would like to make this a built-in banquette. We're going to channel quilt the back of it, and we're going to have a seat on the bottom of it so that people have a place to sit. And then we're going to wrap this around and have Di's desk here. So it'll bring her from the office out into the lobby so she can see what's going on out here, who's coming, who's going, who's at the front door. So this existing wall that we have that shields the staircase and the first aid station are going to leave, and this is going to come and wrap around. So we have a curve wrapping all around, wrapping into the banquette, and then that will be repeated on the other side with the curve of the banquette on the other side of the front doors. Now we're going to take you down the hallway and show you where we're going to put the gym. So do you recognize this space? What we're going to do with this space, we think it's very underutilized. We're going to make it part of the building. We're going to air condition it. We're going to mirror the walls. We're going to put a glass wall here with a glass door, with a ramp so that people can get their furniture easily in and out of the building and into the elevators, so that there's handicapped accessibility. So now what is this space? Welcome to your new gym. One of the things that Amanda and I really like about this building is that there's symmetry. But the symmetry that the building has is in wasted space. So what we're going to do is we're going to enclose this space into the library. It's going to wrap around the column and go all the way down to that column. And where Amanda is standing is going to be the new bar inside the library. At the end of each one of these spaces, we're going to have sliding glass doors that are going to pocket back into this space.
Fully disappear.
And the reason why we're going to do that is so that when the building's having an event of some sort, you can open the glass doors on that side of the room, you can open the glass doors on this side of the room, and all of these rooms will come together. When we talk about materials with you, which is going to be the next segment, you will see that the amount of wood that we're going to use, which we're going to wrap the elevator bank with wood and an accent strip, and we're going to use the wood again in the indentations in these areas where there's going to be seating. we're also going to use it in the back wall of each one of these rooms. So from the moment when you walk in the front door, the wood is going to tie the spaces together. It's going to be on the elevator bank. It's going to be on the indentations where the benches are going to be. It's going to be on the walls in the back of each one of these rooms. So this space is really going to seem very open. We're no longer going to have any furniture in here. We're going to have the furniture be the banquettes. We're going to have the furniture in the indentations. We're going to have a big round table here in the middle with lights hanging over it. Now on this side of the room, on that side of the room, we're going to do a bar in the library, but on this side of the room, the meeting room, we're going to do a kitchen. We're going to extend the kitchen from the space that it's at, and we're going to bring it all the way down here so that inside that room, you're going to have an open kitchen at one end and a working kitchen on the other. I know that all of this is very hard to understand when we're walking through it, and it's difficult to visualize. It's difficult for us, just like it is for you. So Amanda has drawn a floor plan. The floor plan is going to be in each one of the virtual packets that you're going to get so that you can understand how the space is going to be laid out. And if you have any questions, you can go to one of your board members, and they can either direct you to us to answer the question for you, or they can help you with the answer. And now we're going to go over the materials that we've chosen. We have two completely different schemes that we're going to show you, and we're going to start with the lighter one, which we think that this building should have had originally when the building was built in the early 70s. So we're going to start with the outside of the building where we showed you the bump out and the indentations where we were going to take off that concrete block that is in the front, and we're going to put this material inside those on the back wall. We're going to have lights on top of this that are going to shine up and down, that are going to show all of the variances in this material. Then we're going to repeat this material on the phone wall on either side of the front door. So then you'll open the doors and you'll walk into the building, and the first thing that you're going to see is the elevator banks. So this is the back side of the elevator bank, and we're going to put wood on the outside of the walls, and we're going to use the floor tile inset in between the walls on the three sides of the elevator bank. This is going to be the wall color for the whole rest of the downstairs. The only place where you're going to see the wood and the floor on the wall is going to be on the elevator bank, on the other side of the elevator bank, which is this drawing, and on the insets of the walls that we showed you where we're going to enclose the, this room, which is the library, and the social room, which is across.
And add the furniture for the bump outs.
And
as
add the
well.
furniture for the bump outs, that's right. So we're going to do wood ceilings above the ceiling of the elevator bank and above this here, which we have these drawings to show you what we're going to do. And then we're going to put the wood on the insets where we're going to have the insets with the furniture, and then this is going to be the jewelry strip for that. This is all for the same scheme. And then as we showed you when we were talking about what we were going to enclose around the columns, we're going to paint that on this side and that side. It's called Hail Navy. It's like a navy blue color. Just to draw attention to something that we're changing about the layout of the first floor. This is what the insets of the walls are going to look like, where we're going to put a bench inside here. This is giving you a picture of what the navy is going to look like. Then we are, as we talked about the curves when you walk in the front door, the natural curves of the building, there's one on the left and there's one on the right. On the right side, we're going to do this as a banquette. We're going to have the back of it channel quilted, and the seat of it is going to be a vinyl that we'll put up with anything. And these are the colors for that. So as we move towards this room, which we're calling it the library, where the bar is going to be, we're going to have this material for the cabinets. We're going to have this material for the countertops, and this is going to be the backsplash. When we get on the other side of the lobby and we've extended the kitchen, as we've talked about, This is going to be the kitchen cabinets. These are going to be the countertops again. And this is going to be the backsplash, so that these two areas completely across from one another are going to be tied together by the countertop and the backsplash.
And also the feature walls on either end will also have the same wood. So as the spaces are opened up, these pocket doors are recessed back into the wall. It opens up this entire space, and you have these bookends, so to say, of the wood wall in both spaces.
So then very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is the kitchen cabinets, and then when we get to the area where we talked about on the left side of the lobby, where we're going to have another banquette, and we're kind of swerve it around so that dye is more visible to people that are coming in. They're going to have this countertop because we thought that would be a place to have something light. We are going to use this material again on the front of her area, channel quilted, so that we've tied the left side and the right side together. So that's pretty much what is this scheme. Now let's move on to the next scheme. What we have here in the middle is this material is a man-made material that looks like driftwood. This is going to be for the sign that is going to be in the street. We just thought it was a good throwback to the building being very beachy. We found another division, a subdivision in Palmer Ranch that had used this material. So you can look at the picture and it'll show you exactly what it's going to look like. So now that we've shown you these two materials, we're going to show you how they're laid out. So the spaces never change between the two schemes. The spaces are exactly the same. There's an accent tile wrapped by wood. There's a little niche with a little piece of jewelry strip in it. And in this scheme, what we're going to do is we're going to have the accent tile in the middle and the wood on the outside. We're going to have the same wood ceiling, but we're going to have this really beautiful floor that we've shown you that looks like the beach. So if you look at the floor and you look out the windows and you look back at the floor, you're looking at the sand virtually. Amanda's going to explain a little bit about these little details that we're going to have, which is just going to make this idea pop in front of you as you walk by it.
Yeah, so essentially with the big tile that you see that we're using as an accent tile that looks like the swirling waters that you see out in the Gulf, we are picking up on the metallic that is in that tile and reiterating that on the outside edges of the elevator banks themselves, as well as the baseboard. So what we envision is basically a soft gold or brushed champagne colored baseboard, and then an inverted corner reveal for the outside edges. And you'll be able to take a look at the information packet to see close-up pictures, to see what we're talking about. And we would absolutely love to have this be an element that glows when you walk into the space, in which case we would go ahead and add LED tape light to the bottom of where the wood and the tile are, so it highlights that gold baseboard.
So then we're going to take the wood that we've used on the walls and the wood that we've put into the indentations, and this will be the cabinetry that we're going to use in the bar. We're going to use white cabinetry in the kitchen. Again, the bar is in the library and the kitchen is in the meeting room across the elevator lobby. And we're going to tie these spaces together again like we did with the other scheme by countertops and backsplash. This is going to be the countertop. This is going to be the backsplash in each of those areas. Now, what's really going to bring all of this to life is that every other surface in the whole downstairs is going to be painted a very light color. So you're going to have the light and the dark mixed together very well. You're going to walk in, you're going to have something very dramatic to look at, but it's going to be surrounded by everything that's going to be light. It's going to have a light floor that looks like the sand and the water, and it's going to have light walls, and then you're going to have this elevator bank that is really going to draw your attention. So the last thing that we're going to talk about this scheme is the floor. We are also going to use out in front. Go back to what we talked about before, where we're talking about the indentations and the bump outs, where those little cinder blocks are. We're going to take the cinder blocks off and we're going to mount the floor vertically inside those areas. but we found a porcelain tile that we can put lights in back of. So we're going to have the porcelain tile mounted in these spaces, and then in the middle of the space, we're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 rolls, however it lays out best, of this tile that's going to have light
And
shining out of it.
Yeah, really cool because it's going to look like it's woven light.
Like a basket weave.
Yeah, essentially like a basket weave going up vertically in those bumped out alcoves.
And why we're concentrating on the outside of the building so much is that something we've noticed in buildings that have been redone out here is that they haven't addressed driving up to the building. We feel that that's as important as whatever you do on the inside because you've got to set the stage.
And have a sense of arrival.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's a perfect word, a sense of arrival. So when you turn around the corner and you're driving up to the lobby, you're already being set up by the tile that you're going to see on the inside. You're already being set up by the colors because this color is what we would paint the bump out. So that when you get out of your car, you already have a sense of what's going to catch your eye the minute you walk in the door.
Right. The last thing we want to have happen is feel that the exterior and the interior are not speaking to each other. You are on the beach here. You need to bring the outside in, which is what we're doing with the scheme and the materials that we've chosen for both of the schemes. And so why not go ahead and carry that to the exterior so that everything just melds together?
I think that it's a very important thing to bring the outside color into your house. I have done this in my own home, so that when you open up the front door, you already know what you're going to see, and it's a seamless transition from the outside to the inside. And I feel as a designer, that's a very important thing. It makes you feel comfortable. It makes you feel like there is continuity. So we've given you both our schemes. We like both of them very much. It's up to you to vote on which one you like the best. So Amanda and I thought that the perfect place to end our presentation was outside. Because after all we're trying to do is raise the quality of life of the building, which in turn raises your quality of life. And in all honesty, everything that we're showing you and everything that we're trying to convey to you is about one thing, and it's that view. Thank you, and good luck choosing a theme.